high risk for malignancy. If polyps are not going to be removed by a cholecystectomy, then they need to be followed by serial exam. And it's important to keep that in mind. Polyps are going to be echogenic areas within the lumen. They're not going to be mobile, and they should not cast shadowing. But if you see these incidental findings, you want to make sure that you refer the patient for follow-up. What about air within the lumen? I'm always harping on. Recognize reverberations when you see them. Air in the wrong place is never good. While emphysematous cholecystitis accounts for less than 1% of all cases, these are usually more advanced cases, and these patients can be sicker. Here's a CT here. You can see that there's a large amount of air anteriorly here within the gallbladder, and on ultrasound, you can see that there are multiple echogenic areas here with posterior reverberations, all consistent with the presence of air. This is something you want to be able to diagnose. Here's a patient that came with right quadrant pain. The intern that was scanning was having a hard time identifying the gallbladder, and when they were scanning in this area right here, they saw all this dirty shadowing and reverberations here. They saw this echogenic line right here that they assumed that this was just bowel gas. You can see here that this is bile right here. If you look transversely, anterior and medial to the superior fold of the right kidney, here you've got the gallbladder. Here you've got air within the gallbladder lumen. You've got stones here. And you can see intermittently there's little echogenic foci moving up to the surface here. Those are gas bubbles from the gas-forming infection. You can see them moving up right there. This is a patient with emphysematous cholecystitis, although the clip I have here sagitally doesn't confirm it. On other views, we're able to confirm that this area connected via the main lobar fissure down here over to the right portal vein. So remember, if you see these echogenic areas with posterior reverbs, be ready to make the diagnosis of emphysematous cholecystitis. The size matter, and the answer is yes. A gallbladder with a transverse diameter, outer wall to outer wall, that's greater than 4 to 5 centimeters, that should raise your suspicion of cholecystitis. Sagitally, the gallbladder should be less than 10 centimeters. However, this number does not correlate as well as the transverse width measurement does. But here's a caveat. The absence of dilatation does not exclude the presence of obstruction, particularly early on in the timeline. Can gallbladder wall thickness help you? Sure. But in conjunction with other findings, not by itself. Normal wall thickness, and this should be measured anteriorly. You don't want to do it posteriorly because it's difficult to discern the gallbladder wall and the bowel borders. It's easy to do it up here with the liver. But normally, the thickness should be less than 3 millimeters. However, wall thickening is a non-specific finding. You don't have to memorize a list. But just in case you didn't believe me, the differential is pretty extensive for gallbladder wall thickening. So alone, gallbladder wall thickening cannot be used to make the diagnosis of cholecystitis. Here's a patient with end-stage AIDS. She had hepatitis, and she also had multiple intra-abdominal pseudomonal abscesses. If you look at her gallbladder, she did not have acute biliary disease. But if you look, she's got massive thickening of the walls. Now transverse. You can see that there's massive thickening of the walls, but this is not due to acute cholecystitis. Here's a patient that had gallbladder wall thickening. If you take a look here, here's the wall here, but here's also a wall. It's not uncommon to see in the mid portion a central hypoechoic area. Now, at first glance, you may want to look and say, well, here's gallbladder wall, this is pericholocystic fluid. But you really want to trace the whole outline of the gallbladder. This was the outer wall here of the gallbladder wall, or the outer portion of the gallbladder wall. This was just some edema in the mid portion here, so there's no pericholocystic fluid. Just wall thickening. We talked about this on the fast exam lecture. The free fluid is going to butt up against adjacent structures and give you these triangular corners. And you can see here, there is pericholocystic fluid here coming up. And you can see it's got no wall around it, and it's got nice triangular corners. It's important to remember that pericholocystic fluid can be of biliary or non-biliary origin. So know that pericholocystic fluid can be a non-specific finding. In the literature, it's defined as they're broken down into type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is going to be a thin anechoic crescent-shaped collection. Type 2 is going to be a round or irregularly shaped collection. Here you can see a triangular-shaped fluid collection here between the kidney and the gallbladder. Here you can see that this gallbladder is enlarged, it's greater than 5 centimeters, there's multiple stones here, and it's pericholocystic fluid. The patient also had a sonographic Murphy sign and was diagnosed as acute cholecystitis. The CTD had been visualized prior to the patient going to the operating room, and it was normal in size. We're going to talk about the common bile duct evaluation in future modules. So how can just looking at the gallbladder alone help you? Well, if you got a patient that comes in, right over quadrant pain, if you look at the literature, 33% of the time, when we suspect somebody has acute cholecystitis or symptomatic biliary disease, we're wrong. If you look, and you see that a patient has a normal gallbladder, there's an absence of stones, absence of wall thickening, no pericholocystic fluid, and a sonographic Murphy, and absence of the sonographic Murphy sign, this essentially rules out the diagnosis of acute biliary disease. Let me just spend a second clarifying the sonographic Murphy sign. By definition, it's reproducible point tenderness directly over the gallbladder with transducer pressure. It's 87% specific for the diagnosis of cholecystitis. And the presence of gallstones in combination with a positive sonographic Murphy sign has a 92% positive predictive value for the diagnosis of acute cholecystitis. But it really has to be reproducible point tenderness, not global tenderness over the right upper quadrant, including the gallbladder, point tenderness directly over the gallbladder. Whereas you have a patient who you do find gallstones, and they have focal tenderness, meaning the sonographic Murphy sign. You got to remember here that up to 18% of these patients will also have associated PVD stones, and therefore operative intervention should not be planned until you have a comprehensive exam done where the common bile duct is evaluated.
What bile terms we use to describe these calcifications, and what assessment category we would then give to those calcifications. So this is case 1. Case 2, again, what are your descriptors, and what's your final assessment? Case 3, again, descriptors and assessment. And case 4, how would you describe it, and what's your assessment? Okay, so even those of us who do mammography as a specialty find calcifications troublesome sometimes. And so my task in the next 20 to 30 minutes is to give you an organized way to approach a seemingly disorganized topic. And this framework is essentially BIRAP, but it's a way of approaching complications that you can use on a daily basis in the reading room. So to begin with, there's 2 statements. Most rare complications are typically benign, meaning they are benign in a very recognizable way. And it's key to be able to recognize those complications and realize that you don't have to do anything else for them. Now, those complications that are not typically benign, you then go on and analyze 2 pieces of information, their morphology and their distribution. And the morphology and the distribution, the calcification will guide you to your assessment category. So today we're going to very briefly go over BI-RADS. Then we'll spend some time talking about typical benign calcifications, and the rest of the time will be spent talking about the way of analyzing the rest of the calcifications, meaning the distribution and the morphology. So let's start with BI-RADS. As you know, there's 6 categories, and you can split them up by what they mean for management. So the first 2 categories we use routine screening. The third category is something we try not to use very often, but it guides you to short-term follow-up. Categories 4 and 5, we choose a biopsy. Now the difference is that for BI-RADS 5, you are 95% sure that this is a cancer. So if you do a biopsy and it turns out to be benign, you're not satisfied with that, and you go on to a surgical biopsy. So that's the difference between those two. And 6 is for no malignancy. So we're going to move on to typically benign calcifications. There's 9 categories, which seems like a lot, but you know a lot of these. So let's start with the first one. You recognize this from MSK. These are your vascular calcifications. So they're not always this obvious, and you need to distinguish these from the linear calcifications that you would otherwise biopsy. So how do you distinguish it? 2 things. The transtract appearance of the calcification and the soft tissue wall of the vessel. And that's this tissue that you see with the vessel is to track with the calcifications on all of the views that you take. The next category is skin. Skin is 2 things going for it. It has typical locations, such as the inframammary fold along the sternum in the axilla. And if you look at the calcifications carefully, they should be tightly clustered, and often you'll find a couple that are loose and centered. And that should usually give you enough information, but sometimes it won't. In those cases, when you patient back for a diagnostic, you place a DV right on the calcifications. You prove it to yourself, making sure that the DV is right on top of the calcifications, and then you do a tangential view. And you look to see whether those calcifications triangulate to the skin. If they do, you're done. So just one more example. On your left, the calcifications are triangulating to the skin, and they're benign. On your right-hand example, you see the DV and the underlying skin, and the calcifications are within the superficial breast ring, but they need additional workup because they are in the breast. So our next category, vasovagal centers or HO. So these are lucent, but they do have rings of calcification that can be continuous or discontinuous. These are benign, so leave them alone. Moving on, that same category are dystrophic calcifications, which also have a lucent center, which, as you can see, can evolve over time to become more coarse. They're usually very thick, and they usually have some sort of background of radiation or trauma or surgery. So just one more example of dystrophic calcification. Sometimes dystrophic calcifications can be palpable. So if you can get a view like this, showing that the calcifications are on the side of her palp, and all you see are the dystrophic calcifications in the lucent centers, you're done. Our next category are structural calcifications. As you can see, they look man-made, they look calcified. You don't see these often, but you do see them. Our next category are coarse or palpable calcifications, which are usually seen with a private adenoma that's involuting. They're usually large, thick, coarse calcifications, which may sometimes have the soft tissue of a mass associated with them, but sometimes not. Either way, they're considered benign. The next category are secretory calcifications, which are large, rod-like calcifications, which are usually bilateral and diffuse, extending towards the nipple. There's more than one type. They can be intraductal, so in the duct, as you see here, or they can be periductal, surrounding the duct. Either way, they're benign. And now we're going to move on to injections. Now there's many different types of injections. I'm showing you 2. These are silicone on the left. They have this cotton candy, cloudy appearance. And the paraffin injections, on the other hand, are the lucent centers of calcifications around them. Either way, benign. Now this last category I'm going to spend some time on. On the lateral, you see these meniscoid linear calcifications, and on the CT view, we see almost nothing. But if you look at the center, you'll see some amorphous cloudy calcifications that are very difficult to see. These are novocalcin. So the key in novocalcin is noting that it's dependent calcifications in macro and microcysts, and that they look different on the different views. So on the lateral, you'll see percentage shaped or curvilinear calcifications. On the CT, you'll have a hard time finding them. And when you do find them, you'll see these round amorphous deposits. So on the schematic view, you'll see the curvilinear appearance on the lateral, and this bottom of the teacup view on the CT. And the key again is to change the shape of the particles in different projections. So if you see linear calcifications on your CT, they are not novocalcin. Only if they change shape and they are amorphous on the CT where they have novocalcin. Alright, so that covers our 9 categories of typical benign. We're going to move on to the rest. So let's start with distribution. You have 5 terms that you can use for distribution, and I ordered them from benign to most suspicious. So diffuse, regional, grouped, linear, and segmental. We'll go over each of these. So diffuse calcifications are scattered throughout the breast, and they suggest a benign process. This is what it would look like. Now notice that diffuse calcification doesn't mean that they're evenly distributed calcifications. Diffuse calcifications randomly cluster, but the key to knowing that they're diffuse is that no cluster looks very different from any other cluster. They all look very similar. So this is what it would look like on mammogram. And down the next part, which would be regional. Regional calcifications are sort of a catch-all. They usually mean a large line of tissue that has calcifications, but they're not quite segmental, they're not quite diffuse. They're not inductal distributions. Again, they suggest a benign process. So this would be the way it would look like on schematic, and this is what it would look like on mammogram. Alright, our next category is grouped or clustered. This by definition is 5 or more calcification the cubic CT of tissue. It's a neutral term. It doesn't mean suspicious or not suspicious, it's neutral. So, for example, we have 2 clusters here. The cluster on your left has round calcifications, the cluster on your right has coarse irritating calcifications. The management is very different. The round calcifications can actually turn out to be a BI-RADS 3 short follow-up, and whereas the coarse irritating is your always biopsy. So the morphology is really going to dictate what's going to happen and for grouped or cluster calcifications. Now moving on to our next category, which is linear. All these groups of calcifications in a line, and suggest deposits in a duct, these are always suspicious. So this is what it will look like in schematic. On mammogram, again, you see these calcifications lining up and they're actually branching. These are very suspicious. You're always biopsy. So segmental distribution is our very last category, and it is the most suspicious distribution we have. It suggests deposits along ethnoidal distribution, and again, very suspicious. And as you can see here, you have calcifications that are lining up pointing towards the nipple. On a mammogram, it will look something like this. Now, it doesn't really matter what sort of calcifications you have, those are highly suspicious, and you would definitely biopsy those. So now we're going to move on to morphology. And let me say before we go on to the specific terms, the importance of spot compression identification views. So try not to make a determination on the morphology of the calcifications until you see those spot nag views, because you can be fooled. So for example, say we have this appearance on your normal mammogram. It looks somewhat amorphous, it would be something that I would normally biopsy. But on the spot again, you're seeing that all of these are actually round calcifications. That completely changes your management. So now if this was your right difference, you'll now be a BI-RADS 3 short follow. So make sure you get the spot nag before you decide on your morphology. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the 5 different terms. I ordered them from benign to most suspicious. Round amorphous, coarse irritating, finely amorphic, and finely branching. So let's start with round calcifications. These are small, round, or punctate calcifications, and are usually benign. So this is how you would draw them. They are very clear, distinct, round. They can be different sizes. If you saw a cluster of round calcifications, they will look like that. So they're usually benign, and so the distribution matters. If they're scattered, they're just a BI-RADS 1 or 2. If you're clustered, if you're saying for the first time at a baseline, you can give it a 5 out of 3, which is close to baseline. If they're new, you really don't have a choice and you still need to biopsy them. If they're in linear or segmental distribution, you would still absolutely biopsy them because the distribution is a chunk of morphology. So here's an example of round calcifications which are clustered and therefore 5 out of 3 on a baseline. Now this is another example of round calcifications, but now they're in a linear distribution. So this would be a 5 out of 4 in your biopsy. Okay, moving on to our next category, which is amorphous calcifications. These calcifications have very hazy borders, they're difficult to see, and they're of intermediate concern. So when I draw them for you, they look something like this. You can't really see the edges. You don't know if they're round or square or triangular because you can't see them very well. In fact, they're very hard to see on mammogram at all. So on mammography, I had to circle them so you could see them a little bit better. They're usually very difficult to see, and you just cannot see those edges. This is another example of amorphous calcifications. Now, they're of intermediate concern, but on the lower end of concern. So the distribution is again important. If the distribution is considered, technically, amorphous calcifications are still benign. But in any other distribution, warrants a biopsy. We're going to move on to the third morphology, which is coarse heterogeneous. These calcifications are irregular, conspicuous calcifications, but they're small. They're big. They're of intermediate concern. And the reason they're of concern is because you can't tell if they're early coarse calcifications or if they're a cancer. And you don't want to wait to find out what they're going to turn into. So for this reason, we biopsy them. So if you're drawing them for you, I draw them like this. There's many different shapes and sizes. You can see the edges clearly, and they're big. So in reality, they look something like this. And again, coarse heterogeneous calcifications, you do biopsy them. Now this is another example of coarse heterogeneous calcification, which is almost going on the coarse category, but these happen in a segmental distribution, and these actually turn out to be a high-grade PKS. So our next category is a fine amorphic calcification. These are also a variable size shape, but they're small, less than 0.5 millimeter. And they have a high probability of malignancy. It doesn't matter what distribution, you're going to biopsy these types of calcifications if you find yourself using these words to describe them. This is how I would draw them. They look a lot like the coarse heterogeneous, except they're small. And this is what they look like on mammograms. Lots of shapes and sizes, triangles, parallelograms, a lot of edges. Highly suspicious, always biopsy. This is yet another example, and these are slightly segmental for distribution. So our next category is fine linear branching. These are thin, linear, curvilinear calcifications that suggest the filling of a duct by cancer, and they have a high probability of malignancy. So they would, if I had to draw them, it would look something like this. And on a mammogram, again, you see these linear calcifications, which happen to also be in a linear distribution, usually huge trouble care. Again, highly suspicious. And this is another example I have for you. You can see where the casting appearance of the calcifications within the duct. No branching. So fine linear branching calcifications, highly suspicious, always biopsy. So that actually brings us to the end of our outline, and we're going to go to our cases. So let's start out with case 1.